And we're back, friends. Okay, right. Now, beforehand, we left off. We were talking about Hold the Line and the tutorial taking this ability away from our leader when we already had it, right? So we need to decide, not decide, we need to figure out the intent of these skill trees. So this one's 50-50 offense-defense, this top one. This one, let's have a look at it. So this gives us an ability. This ability, Hold the Line, increases charge resistance by 100% of all units within 40 meters. Right. So this is a tactical power boost for people around my character. It depends what by 100% charge resistance actually means. Does that mean by 100% from what the unit has? Or by 100% against a default baseline, right? If it's 100% of what a unit has, then it is not useful or is not as technically as powerful as 100% off the baseline, because off the baseline would make it, if the baseline is 50 and we increase it by 100 to 100, then we can in theory make weak soft units resist charges much better. But on the flip side, if it's the first version where we increase whatever we have by 100%, as in we double it, right, then double of nothing is still nothing, right? But double of a significant number is a even more significant number. So mathematically it'll work out like that, where units that are already quite proficient against an effect will be even more so proficient against an effect. Okay, so that's that. We can buy 1 pip of that. Then the next one is Honest Steel. Honest Steel. Okay, what does this do? Melee defense. Really? Is this specialist units? Why in the Lord's Army? Why does that say that there? Oh. Aha. Right. So, these bonuses are for our hero. I guess then these bonuses are for the army that our hero is in. So this would increase Spearman, Swordsman and Halberdier units melee defense by 3. This one would increase the ammunition for missile infantry by 3%. By 3? By 3 flat? By 3 flat's quite interesting. Because by 3 flat makes, well, we spoke about percentages and flat values. Charge bonus by 3%, Pistoliers and Outriders. Charge bonus by 3% for Pistoliers and Outriders. Why would a Pistolier charge someone if he has a pistol? We'll figure that one out later. So, this line makes my army stronger. What is this? Route Marcher. Aha, right. I think we've nailed it here. Public Order, Local Province. I can get 3 pips of that. Leader of Renown. Recruitment's cheaper. Reassuring Presence. Casualties suffered from attrition or less. Fervent. Reduces the vampiric or chaos corruptions by an amounts. So, the TLDR is the top one increases the hero unit, the Lord specifically, in our case, France. Right, this one, the middle one, is going to increase the men that France leads. And this one, the bottom one, is going to make the region that France controls better. Or at least more easier to manage in some ways. Let's check out the special unlocker ones. So, Foe Seeker. Oh, this is also an ability that the tutorial took away from us. How good to see it back in the game. Okay, Foe Seeker, Augment, Self Buff 12 seconds, Charge bonus 18%, Speed 24%, Vigor 18%. So Vigor is Stamina, I'm guessing, because it uses the Stamina icon there. Then Speed is obviously the unit's travel speed, so basically press this button and run at someone to run them down, so they can't run away from you. The Rally button does Self, Allies in Area, 40 meters, 16 Leadership. They regain Leadership stat, right? I'm not 100% sure about the exact interactions between Leadership and what happens to it at certain key points. I know that the less, I don't know. I expect that the less of Leadership stat you have, the worse your values are. And at 0, you run. That's what Rally does. This is interesting because this is plus 16 is a straight buff increase. Is a straight flat integer increase of 16 units. Irresponsible. Never mind, not irresponsible, irrepressible. Wound recovery time -1. After 4 okay, so again, guessing, but I expect this is what it does. When our hero dies in battle but isn't killed, but goes wounded, so we don't end the game because our lord has died, it takes him several turns before he can be used again. Which means that this skill will reduce that recovery time by 1. So mathematically, out of like these 4x3, 12 different skills, I don't know which one will be most effective. My money is on the middle one, because the middle one is especially on steel, this one's probably really good. This is not so interesting. This isn't a damage increase. This is a survivability increase. Hold the line. Skill. Yeah, we'll see. I think this one here is the most per point effective one if you have a full army stack, depending on how... No, that's not true. I'm sorry. I take that back. So each of these are probably all effective depending on how you use your hero. And let's leave it at that. This one doesn't seem that interesting because it only triggers, well, only kicks in when my hero dies. This one is a straight leadership buff, and this one is a bonus to beating people over the head with a stick. Okay, let's look at these other ones. So, following the same logic, this 4 is going to be all about our hero, Karl Franz, beating people up, specifically by himself. Weapon, yeah. Leadership, really? That's a bit out of place. Indomitable is out of place, because leadership does not increase my output, does not at all increase the survivability or the kill potential of this character. Damage. Sort of damage. This is sort of damage. This is sort of damage. Well, in fact, these are both damage, really. This one's situational, this one's always. These are survivability, these two. This is straight up damage, in the most purest form. This is more weapon skill, some passive sort of damage. Leadership does not... So if these two are damage, then you would expect these two to be survivability, but they're not. This one is leadership, this one is survivability, melee defense +2. What did this one do? In fact, not what did that one do, what did this one do? This is melee defense +5 for 1 point. That can go to 9, this can go to 9. Go back to the tooltip real fast. Okay, maybe, I don't know. If having super high leadership gives me some sort of defensive benefit, then this, I guess, can be... If having very high leadership gives me some sort of benefit, then maybe this could be considered a defensive talent. But I don't know enough about the mechanics in the back end to really be able to say. So we'll leave that for one side. Let's check out this bad boy. Deadly Onslaught, special ability, self buff, armor piercing damage and vigor. So I gain a charge bonus, I gain an armor piercing damage bonus, and I gain stamina to run at people faster. What is the cooldown of this? Does it say 45 seconds? And this one is Foe Seeker. It's 45 seconds also. Does this... this is going to be one of those cases where we want to consult the help menu if I can find the button to open the help menu with. Here. You reckon? No. I give up. Right click. Hey, that worked. And then from here we'll just go here. Oh, interesting. There's some heroes here. These are heroes. This is my lord. Yeah, here we go. Campaign 5% bonus. Upkeep of this unit and that unit. 10% bonus. What are the... Okay, I guess this list is a list of all of the abilities that he could possibly get. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why is this so finicky? Make it small. Go over here. What is this called? Indomitable. Make it big. That's what she said. Where is Indomitable? No. a horn? There it is. There's Indomitable. Okay, that's great. Leadership. Go to there, go to there. Units, buildings, technology, characters. Go to characters. Oh. Go back to home. I want to know what the effects of leadership are on myself. If I have a very high leadership, does that mean my character gets other bonuses to some stats or not? Quest. Is this all you're going to tell me? Back. This isn't very interesting. Back. Nope, 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 not interesting, not interesting. Achieving victory, not interesting. Racist characters. I don't believe I can find the information I'm looking for. I will pretend... In fact, no, I won't pretend. We'll just leave it. Next. Now, down the line that gives our characters... that improves our character's army. So, based on the logic of this, I expect that this section also improves our army. Characters aura size 10%. Okay, so we can give us leadership bonus to more people because it's the leadership... Yeah, because the aura size is bigger. That makes sense. Emperor's Finest. Available after unlocking charge bonus for Great Swords, Empire Knights and Reich Guard. 3% bonus, 3% charge bonus. This is interesting. This is really interesting for the CAV versions because Great... well, I don't know. This is interesting either way. This is just interesting. 3% bonus for artillery. Okay, so this is artillery. This is missile infantry. There's no synergy here. This is Pistoliers and Outriders. This is Empire Knights, Reich Guard, Great Swords, Artillery. 3... okay. Ward save. 3% ward save for Steam Tank and Demi-Griffin Knights. Oh, boo. Where is the search feature? Not the tutorial, none of that. Maps, races, units, buildings. Maps. Units. Nope, nope, no, this one. Nope. Go in. I want to know what ward save does. Mighty Forge. There's more. Oh, interesting. Or is 40. Or right. So the more you invest in this skill, the better it gets. Because at level 3, now let's go back. We figured out something new, or at least we didn't figure out something new. We misunderstood what the heck was going on. No, we didn't misunderstand what's going on. These are all linear. Well, linear-esque. There's nothing fancy that happens going from 1 to 3 pips. In this one, going from 1 only gives you 3% bonus to them and them. At 2, it's a 7 and 7. It's 2 different bonuses now, eh? This is really powerful. 7, 7, 12, 12. Charge bonus and weapon strength. Imperial gunnery. Yeah, okay. This is actually pretty interesting. This is put as a 12 and 12. 30. 30, fine. 18, fine. Yeah, whatever. This is quite interesting again. Okay, so then I guess that speed of horse is for light cavalry units. This is for heavy cavalry units and other units that will like to run at the enemy with very big weapons and break the enemy. Then, okay, this is a infantry trait. This is a skirmisher trait. This is a skirmish cavalry trait. This is foot skirmishers. This is mounted skirmishers. This is general. This is general basically, I guess. Yeah, this is general. This is shock cav and shock infantry. This is missile damage artillery, ammunition and missile damage for artillery, ammunition and damage for artillery. This is for artillery. Yeah, Imperial gunnery. Who would have guessed, right? Mighty forge. What the heck is a ward save? Oh, very much that. Oh. I wonder. I remember seeing this beforehand, and I presumed that it simply increased my armor value by that by the 15%. Interesting. We'll have to figure what I would save out later, friends. Stand your ground. Replaces rally. The ability to replace is with stand your ground. The ability details. It's an aura, acts on self, 40-minute radius. Okay. This is a good ability. It's a 90-second cooldown though. What is it replace? Rally? Rally is a 45-second, 90 seconds. So it doubles the cooldown, but it's the same leadership buff, but you gain melee attack and defense. Interesting. You gain a flat amount of melee attack and defense. So this ability is really, really good for cheap, crappy units, but not as effective on high numbers, high stat-based units, because, well, as we've talked about before, percentages and flat values. If you don't know what we've talked about before, rewind a little bit and watch a previous video. I'm sure I've mentioned it there a couple of times. Right, so this top line is the buff my character line and make him a beast. This middle line is buff my army line and make my army a beast, but not so much my character, by virtue of not doing the top one. And this bottom one is buff my region and my regency to make me, I guess, make more money, like a beast. Lightning Strike. Enables lightning strike battles when reinforcements... Enables lightning strike battles when reinforcements are present. What does that mean? What is... The option to carry out a lightning strike battle will appear on the pre-battle panel. Enabling this prevents reinforcements. Aha! So, this is a very important ability. Lightning Strike is very important if you want to win at the high difficulty levels. This ability... Well, first, before I speak about it, let's go through everything else. So level 1 enables Lightning Strike, level 2 enables Lightning Strike and greater reinforcement range, level 3 enables Lightning Strike and 20% reinforcement range. Reinforcement range is, I hope I might be lying here, but it is the zone, the distance to the character, the distance between two armies where one army can reinforce the other. What I don't know if it is if it is the de facto zone of control around an army. Because if that's true, if this is a plus 20% bonus to zone of control of my army, then this is, then we'll talk about Lightning Strike before we finish. Quartermaster. Like army cheaper, 15% cheaper. Okay, this is, I guess, interesting, but not very mechanically interesting. This is numerically effective, but not mechanically interesting. While this is fucking super interesting. Logistics. Casualty replenishment rate. 3, 8, 15. This is an important skill. This means that your army doesn't have to go on cooldown, well, not on cooldown technically, it doesn't have to spend as many turns waiting to regenerate troops, so it can be very, very aggressive in enemy territory. Alert. Ambush skill. Chance of intercepting an army using using the underway. What does that mean? So before, when we spoke about underways, I was under the impression that underways were a point-to-point teleportation system for an army. Now I think underway is a stance for an army that you put the army in, but then that army cannot be intercepted by another army unless that army is also in underway, which would make sense. So goblins, so greenskins can fight dwarves underground like they should, right? So then underway is a stance which you put your army into, and then they cannot be attacked or interrupted, but bypass terrain features, but move at a slower rate, which is where the trade-off is. Ambush defense chance plus 30%. This is quite interesting. Ambush defense chance. Does that mean that I get a 30% chance defending in an ambush? I get 30% bonus defending an ambush, or 30% chance ignoring an ambush? So then this wouldn't really be the alert skill. It would just be the my army isn't randomly jacked from the forest skill or by wild underground traveling orcs. What's Headhunter? Unit experience. Interesting. In campaigns, I personally have not valued bonuses to recruitment capacity, but I wonder if my conception is just wrong about this. If they value recruitment capacity so highly, then that must mean that they expect you to burn through, and by so highly I mean that recruitment capacity is nowhere else in this tree but right at the fucking end, right? So that means they must expect players to burn through units very, very often and have to replenish them very, very often. And having an extra recruitment slot for unit capacity must give a tremendous benefit for the person that has the skill versus one of these other ones. Okay, but so we've done that now. Let's go back to Lightning Strike, because I want to talk about this one. So, Lightning Strike. Enable Lightning Strike battles when reinforcements are present. The option to carry out a Lightning Strike battle will appear on the pre-battle panel. Enabling this prevents reinforcements from joining the battle. Towards the end of the game, you will have factions running around with 20 unit stacks and 3 or 4 armies, and they will all be clumped up right next to each other. They will stack 60 units and then proceed to try to roll over you. It is very, very difficult to deal with that sort of problem. In Attila and the previous games, you had to spread your armies quite thinly, because they put the focus and you could have a limited amount of armies, and then the armies are the key point instead of having lots of armies everywhere, but then you just have to deal with money problems. So that was an interesting black screen. That really shouldn't have happened. We're going to have to take care of that later. Randomness. Now, what Lightning Strike means is that, well, actually not what it means. It is useful because it allows the character that has Lightning Strike to fight 4 or 5 stacks of armies, and depending on the player's skill, they can destroy all of them. Because what will happen is, actually I might be lying here, when you win a battle and there are reinforcements, even though the reinforcements are not allowed to come into the battle, they will count as having lost the battle. Therefore, they will have to have scattered and lost their movement turn, or at least lost the movement points in their next movement turn, right? So you can see we can see the mechanics here, right? Is that I have one really, really high skilled army, and then I just go in and fight a whole bunch of other armies. Assuming I can outplay them on the field, this is a very useful ability. I would... But this is also quite situational. Out of all of these are all situational, but this is probably one that most drastically affects the end game. Because while having 12% more artillery damage might be nice, if you misplay a battle, this 12% will not win you the battle. While on the other hand, if you're up against 60 units in 3 different stacks, having to only fight 20 at a time will absolutely win you the battle. So this is short story, TLDR. Top line self buff, middle line army buff, bottom line campaign. Basically, campaign buffs essentially is what we're talking about here. Before we wrap this up, I want to go over this top line of stuff to see exactly what we need to turn on to get them. Because I don't think you can buy these. You have to probably achieve special, except for these 3. And maybe these 2. Oh, let's wait a second. Yeah, so, okay. Warhorse, 2 ticks. Warmount, Barded Warhorse. Pegasus, Bronze, Silver, Diamond. Some shit like that. Super fast. Makes him a beast. Wow. Deathclaw. Also, I guess I've not really mentioned this, but I assume there is a finite of skill points that you can get. As in, no one character can get all of these abilities. You probably have to choose one of these lines to max out, and a couple of points to spend. Pegasus, Deathclaw. A Deathclaw Pegasus, what is that? It's a black Pegasus, right? Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Leader of Men. Increases character aura size by 25. Sigbar's Ward, missile resistance. We already have a missile resistance. No, we do have missile resistance, so we can get more missile resistance. Okay. So we'll give no shits about missiles. Then Reichland, Runefang, Galmaraz, excuse me, and the Silver Seal. Reichland, what is this? Reichland Runefang is a symbol of the elector count of the province. It is currently owned by Prince Altdorf Karl Franz. This quest will automatically begin at rank 8. Okay, so we'll automatically trigger this. And then when we get whatever if the quest succeeds, we get 6 attack, 5 public order, more dough at the end, and the ability Runefang of Reichland. Duration 18, self buff, splash attack power. Okay, so that's AoE, more AoE damage, more armor piercing, more weapons damage. So for 18 seconds, I can do more damage to things. So this, in combination with this, makes Karl Franz a beast for around 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Really, this is an awkward number. This is 12 and this is 10. Why don't I just keep my world simple and make all of the self buffs last 12 seconds? And this is 18 seconds. So okay, let me give you 2 different numbers to play with. Fine, fuck it. 18, 12, 10. I could have just made all of them 12 seconds. Or all the same number. This is Galmaraz, unique. Galmaraz, the legendary hammer. Okay, so hammer to the face. Runefang, blah 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 blah. Well, okay. This quest will automatically begin at 13. More damage, more public order, more loot, ability, Galmaraz. Oh, so okay, so 135. That's a long cooldown. These 2 are long cooldowns. So for a long cooldown, I can all of a sudden do shitloads of damage. Great. The Silver Seal, Warrior Mage, Frederick von whatever the fuck ever, Silver Seal Wards, harm away blows and fail sorceries. This quest will automatically 18. Melee defense, resistance, ward save. I want to know what the fuck a ward save is. What the fuck does that do? Okay. Enemy hero action success chance. Covert ops. Okay, so this will be like assassins trying to jack your character up or doing something with them to send them out of commission. Wound recovery time -1. Right, because you can do assassination missions against the leader of an army or do an assault against them with another character, which is why you have the recovery time here and you have the recovery time here. Okay, this makes sense now. This makes sense now. This might not be as bad as I first thought it was. Okay. Reduction in vampire and chaos blood by warhorse. It doesn't actually tell me what a warhorse does. That's great. But I get a horse. Pegasus, I guess. Pegasus fly. Gets a speed, gets a charge. Yeah, okay. I guess Deathclaw also flies. Doesn't actually tell me what Deathclaw is. It's just a black Pegasus, right? Fucking unicorn horn. Leader of men. We know that. We know that. We know that. So the question is, how would we like to play Karl Franz in this playthrough? And I think, because this is going to be a short campaign, we're not going to go for a lengthy playthrough. I think we will play the middle line, where we will make our troops like bricks, like really, really strong bricks. Right? Does that make sense? Then again, man, like these abilities here are all about dealing damage. So if I go down the middle route, these two at least, the Rune Fang and the Galma and the hammer, yeah, basically the sword and the hammer. These are the sword and the hammer don't synergize with the middle line at all. Like at all. This one does. The Silver Seal synergizes, well, only not melee defense, magic resistance, ward save. The bottom 3 bonuses of those synergize with this line here, with the bottom line. Oh, here we go. That's what a ward save does. Ward save. Any type of damage is reduced by this amount. So it's a, assuming the English is as it's read, it reduces all damage by 12%, including armor piercing damage. Interesting, so we'll need to remember that in future. Ward saves reduce all kinds of damage. Magic resistance reduces magic. That's good to know. Ward save reduces... Okay, so magic resistance and ward saves will stack, I guess. Alright, Galmaz, hammer and sword. Damaged. I guess no, this is sort of interesting. No, not really. Public order in one province. Who gives a fuck? Basically, this ability is good because you do shit tons of damage for 18 seconds. So is this ability. The other benefits are not really that impressive to warrant them. This one is nice because this is a very defensive ability. This means that your character will survive. This synergizes well with everything because your hero is always doing this stuff. Always. This ability is not worth the value, the in-game value of this ability is not the active part of this trait. Right? So if we choose to go buffing our troops, this and this is not that interesting for us. This Silver Seal is super interesting because it means we just live longer, right? But if we choose to go down the middle line, then this is not very interesting. These 3 abilities, the Sword, Hammer and Gizmo, synergize best with melee combat. Right? This magic resistance? This is just missile resistance. So maybe we shouldn't do the bottom one. Maybe as this, but then again, fighting people in melee combat is also quite dangerous. You know what? We made the choice. In fact, no, we didn't make the choice. We will choose the bread and butter mechanics of this. We will choose our hard-hitting line. Tick. So that's 1 skill point. So we have 2 skill points. Yeah, okay. Character skill back. That works. Well, I wish I looked at it beforehand. Well, here it is, friends. This shit explains it right here. Yellow skills are character skills. Red skills are battle skills. As in, I buff my own army skills. Blue skills are campaign skills, which are these things function everywhere else but in battle skills and functionality. Who would have guessed? Right, more melee defense. Yeah, let's do this. This makes some sort of sense. I assume when we click this, we cannot undo it. Yeah, let's do it. Bam. So, our boy, this boy right here, Karl Franz, is gonna beat people over the head with a magical sword, a magical hammer, and deflect enemy lightning bolts and magical missiles with a magical talisman, and fucking be like a boss. So, I think this is gonna be a good place to end this video, and I'll see you friends in the next one. Take care.